And I think, one of the reasons that gold has had value, I think there are two reasons that gold has had value. One, it's got the highest stock to flow ratio of any commodity on the planet. I think stock to flow ratio is around 70. And the stock to flow ratio, for people who don't know, is you take the amount of supply on hand and you divide it by the new supply that you're able to produce each year. So if you were to take like potatoes, we probably have about a year's worth of potatoes on the planet, and we grow about a year's worth of potatoes every year. So potatoes would have a stock to flow of one. And gold is almost impossible to destroy. And so essentially every bit of gold that's ever been mined is still on the planet. And we produce, or we mine, about 1/70th each year of, compared to the current supply of gold that's there. And the other reason that gold has value is because it takes a lot of effort and energy and work to get it out of the ground. Gold mining is not free. It takes work. And so what you're essentially doing is you're trading in, let's just say for your job, you dig ditches, a really difficult job. And you're working really, really hard, 40 hours a week, you're breaking your back to dig these ditches. Well, your money should also represent something that's very difficult to come by. You're storing all of your energy and all of your work in some kind of money. So historically, money have been things that were extremely difficult to get. Even before gold, they were using very rare things, teeth or whatever kind of things people could get their hands on, gold, glass beads, depends on the place, limestone. So gold is really storing your energy and your work. And the reason it has value is because it's very, very difficult to produce more gold. Now, the opposite is true with fiat money. If you have, let's just say, for argument's sake, $1 billion in fiat dollars, and you want to create another $1 billion in fiat dollars, you pretty much can press a couple buttons on a computer and all of a sudden you've got $2 billion. It doesn't take extra work. If you've got 1,000 pounds of gold and you want to get another 1,000 pounds of gold, it's going to take an enormous amount of work to get that out of the ground. It's going to be very expensive. It actually holds value. And Bitcoin has a similar thing there, where the proof of work of Bitcoin, and we should probably get into that in a different episode, but I was just thinking about this earlier today, the similarities there, and how every Bitcoin that's mined took an enormous amount of work to be mined. I mean, tens of thousands,
energy,
hundreds of thousands of computers, an enormous amount of energy. And that's why it is a commodity like that. And that's why it can be a good store of value.
I think there are some very good comparisons to gold as it relates to Bitcoin in terms of the type of asset and the idea that it does require a lot of energy and effort to mine gold, just in the same way that it requires energy to mine Bitcoin. What I think one of the key differences is, and I think over time this will become more of a factor, is that with gold, if the price of gold starts to go up, the gold mining companies just deploy more miners and they work faster and harder to get more gold out of the ground faster. And so that they can sell it at the higher price. Well, Bitcoin solves that problem, but with its difficulty adjustment and with the fact that no matter what you do, there are only going to be a block closed every 10 minutes. There's only going to be new Bitcoins coming into circulation every 10 minutes. And so even if the price of Bitcoin were to, spike up, you can't make more quickly so that you can sell it on the market right away. And you can do that with gold. So in my opinion, that's one of the key advantages of Bitcoin over gold, aside from some of the clear advantages that Bitcoin has in terms of portability and the self-auditing blockchain and all of that kind of stuff. But